And it's bloody hard work. Why? Very good question, why? Sometimes I ask that, my wife asks that every morning. But why? I suppose I initially got into the pub game because why? Every man wants a pub. So I thought I'd get into a pub. But originally, I suppose I had quite a diverse background, but decided that I'd like to get into the business for myself, living in Queensland at the time. And my wife and I decided, well, I convinced her to move to Tassie. And our first business we bought was a Sporty's Hotel, which obviously is a pub. You know, quite a traditional corner pub with a nice bistro attached beside it. So, yeah, we've been in the industry now nearly 10 years. And from that it's evolved to, I suppose, being multiple venue owners. As you know, there's been a number of other hotels, pubs, bars, and then I suppose we've finished up with here at Henry's, which is my first real, I'd say, standout restaurant and bar. So it's a standalone restaurant and bar, I'd say.
What do you think drew you to pub?
He doesn't like a beer. Pubs are about, I mean, what do they say? There's nothing worse than a pub with no beer. And I say, well, that's bullshit. There's nothing worse than a pub with no people. So pubs are people. You know, they're about communicating, they're about meeting, they're about grieving, they're about having fun, they're about celebrating. You know, they're about life. So I think in every little town across the country, there's a pub in the corner. And you know, there's always a bank, there's a corner store, there's a post office, there's a pub. You know, the banks are kind of pulling back from the regional Australia, but there's always still a pub. I think that just shows pubs are ingrained into the Australian spirit. So why pubs? I find it very, very challenging. You know, I've been in engineering, I've been in finance. That's all well and good, but I think from almost an ultimate management perspective, you're managing your staff, you're managing your managers, managing your staff. The staff are managing your patrons are trying to manage your staff. So you've got everyone trying to manage everyone. And then you've got such a massive moving target of, you've got obviously the alcohol on the bar side, you've got the food on the other side. The alcohol and the drinks are pretty easy. You buy them, you make them cold, you make sure they go in a cold glass, you serve them with a smile, you grab the money and you make sure they don't get too drunk, because we'll have issues if they do. On the food side of things, on the restaurant side of things, you've got one, the design of the menu. Two, probably stepping back a bit, one, working out what we're going to do. What's our concept? How are we going to deliver it? Okay, we've done that. Let's design the menu. Before we do that, let's look at the kitchen and go, shit, we actually can't do what we want to do because the output of the equipment we've got in there won't sustain us trying to do 120 covers of this dish. So you start again. What can our output be to what our seats are? So you really break it down. And you really analyse that and then start to develop what your concept is to what you can deliver and then what you go out and brand. So again, so many moving parts, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Then you go and order the food, go and find the stock. Right, so what do? Well, we go and try 3 or 4 different suppliers. Then we say, right, well, they've all got the same kind of stock. We want to be different than the restaurant down the road. So then you step out and then you go to let's go to the farmer. Let's try and source our own produce, so let's hit the markets. And I think a lot of restaurants now are doing that. I mean, in London, New York, Sydney, Melbourne, that's what they do. They just go straight to the markets. They've got huge markets that they can just run up and go, right, I'll have fresh fish of the day, I'm going to have that, vegetables, and have that bit of garnish, and away we go. I suppose here in Tassie we're very limited to that because of our size. We do have a fantastic produce and the majority of it does end up in the Melbourne markets. Look, it is incredibly challenging. I think that's one of the things that attracted me to it. I don't like things simple. I don't like sitting at a desk. I mean, sitting at a desk in front of a computer is not for me. I mean, that's not to say it's not bad at all. The challenge of how do we attract the next generation in and keep them in and become, as you said, a career-driven industry like you've got in Europe. I think if you look around, just analysing a lot of the businesses in hospitality, a lot of the hospitality businesses in Launceston or Tasmania, the majority of owners haven't come through the ranks. They've decided, hey, it's a great idea, let's buy a pub or let's start a restaurant, or it's been in the family business, where you're right, in in the bigger cities, in Europe, that they come through the ranks. I think the very successful businesses in hospitality do bring their staff through with them. It starts, I suppose, initially with training, with educating the staff. Look, here is your career path if you decide to choose it. You can go to uni, do a business degree, get an administration role, and then work your way through to a business manager or become an accountant, or you can have an office job basically. I think we need to get out and say, right, we'll probably start at the schools with people like myself. They're in an industry and we aren't too old yet to look like, well, we probably look like we are, but so we can go out and say, look guys, here is a true plan that you can do. You can start off if you want to be a chef. Let's get you in on an apprenticeship. You can go through and get them talking to our chefs, showing them what they're actually doing. So I think a lot of the time when people jump into hospitality, they actually don't know what they're going to be doing. Yeah, okay, you're going to be a dishy. What's a dishy do? Well, it scrubs dishes. Well, it doesn't just do that. You're actually going to be an integral part of the kitchen team. And you're going to be, if you're not there, guess what? Our service is going to be really affected, because someone that's going to be on the floor is going to be in doing the dishes, trying to do the kitchen hand stuff, and again, you've got all this working motion management. And it's bloody hard work. The duck on the pond scenario. I mean, a lot of businesses do that, but in hospitality, you've just got to be cruising. But underneath, under the water, behind the kitchen doors, it is just go, go, go. And when all the cogs fit into place, that it all works well, I think a lot of business owners, especially in hospitality, will say this, it's fantastic. You see your staff are having a really good time, your customers are then having a really good time because your staff are having a good time, they're obviously not too drunk. You've got everyone working together and it just runs harmoniously. And that's when you can sit back, you get the great reviews, you get the feedback from the customers about your staff, you pass them straight on, and then you just go, wow, look, this is why we're here, guys, this is good. One, it's great fun. Two, we're all enjoying what we're doing, we know what we're doing, we're all earning money, and we can come back again another day and do it. Where on the other occasions, it's like war in service, as you probably know. You prep in the kitchen. The front of house staff dig the trenches, lay all the traps, prepare all the equipment. Bang, doors open, it's on. You're in war. Obviously the customers are the enemy. And we're here to try and serve them as best we can, take their money and let them go alive still. So yeah, you take one hiccup in that service, as you know, Nick. You've then got knives are being thrown in the kitchen, elaborate words are sprayed across the walls, there's sauce, let's call that blood. It all starts to go to the proverbial. And then at the front of house, you've got customers that aren't happy because a waitress or waiter's not confident that they can go and deliver the service they've got because they've just got their head bit off by the chef, or the customer was rude, and then it goes on. And then all of a sudden, you're halfway through the service, or let's call it you're halfway through the war, you've lost one front of house staff, you've got to dish it down, you've got a chef who's quite angry, and then you go, okay, we've got another 2 hours of this. And then the Army General just walks in through the kitchen. How are we all going, guys? Good, good. Walks out. That'd be me. Completely oblivious to what's actually going on in the field. And then you'll have big tables that come that aren't booked, and then walk-ins, and it can go absolutely pear-shaped, just like that. And your ability to manage it and your staff's ability to cope with any kind of situation is what I think is the thrilling bit. It's the adrenaline rush. You just go, right up, how can we fix this? Our motto, no customer leaves unhappy unless they're in a divvy van. It's pretty simple. If they leave in a divvy van, we're happy. Well, no, we're not. So it's, I bang on about that analogy to the staff all the time, and they just laugh. It's like, we go to war, prep, war, or the theatre of war, you finish, you then look around, who survived, who's still with us, who do we need to bandage up, who do we need to send off to hospital, prep again, and off we go. That's running a restaurant. Well, I'd always loved this building, I suppose talking about the building side of things. The Old Northern Club, the history of it is fantastic. It really, I have a real thing for now, I suppose, being older, but a sense of place of saying, wow, this is a Launceston institution. as the old Northern Club, built in 1894. It was a gentleman's club for 100 years exactly, closed in 1994, then got redeveloped and became a restaurant called the Northern Club, bar called the Northern Club, and then in the last 24 years, 25 years, it's had a number of ups and downs, and nightclubs and not nightclubs, and fantastic restaurant and not so good, and like most hospitality businesses, it's been around the ringer for a while. So we got the opportunity to jump at it. Didn't take a second look. We're very fortunate we could get hold of it, and then we decided, right, we're going to shut the business down. So we shut it down for 12 weeks. We did a major renovation, but put all of the parts, as far as the bar, the cellar, the lounge, back where it was, and then redeveloped it with using the heritage timbers and the bar that we had here, and putting it all back where it was in 1914, I think. And then we were very fortunate. We found the original president's board of the Northern Club, which is not hiding, but in storage at the Bogues Brewery, warehouse number 2. So I was able to ring up the then managing director of Line Nathan and ask him for his permission if we could go down and have a look at it. And we got it, and then I rang him back, said, look, we found it, and he said, it's yours on loan. So we went and hung it in our lounge. And the very first president of the Northern Club was a gentleman by the name of Henry Ritchie. So hence, we've called our new business Henry's. A lot of people ask that question, why do you call it Henry's? And a lot of people get that answer. And a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it, but it's just tying back into the history of this fantastic building, in this fantastic street, in this very old town, or city I should say. So rather than, the next step was, okay, we know what we've got. We've got a beautiful bar, we think we've got an amazing restaurant, and a very special and unique lounge, which is unique to Launceston. And didn't want to be the next owner of the Northern Club. Okay, yeah, it's just a bar, it's a restaurant, the steaks weren't as good as the last owner, and the bar's this, and so bugger that. So I've obviously had our head chef, Christy, who's been working with me now for close to 5 or 6 years. So we decided, okay, what can we do differently? We've got a fantastic restaurant which Jeremy's got at Geronimo's, which obviously does a share platter, focuses on that style of modern cuisine, which works really, really well. You've got Stillwater, which is just still, they're target number 1. Everyone's trying to chase them. Black Cow, well, you're not going to probably put a better steakhouse in or restaurant in Launceston than Black Cow. So we thought you've got your traditional restaurants of, Terry Fiddler's, the Brisbane or the bistro style restaurant, Navarro's, Italian. Okay, well, we think there's a little niche hole here, being we're going to call it modern, contemporary, non-share platter, no main, no entree, no dessert. So what are we going to do? We're going to do small tasting plates. And someone thinks a taste plate is okay, it's more of tapa style. Well, no, we're doing individual degustation style meals. It's my phone, sorry. So individual degustation style meals. We have then developed, right, how are we going to deliver this? So we came up with the concept, so right, can we deliver this? Well, yes, we can deliver it from a kitchen point of view, because we've just done the kitchen up, we know what we can pump out. So then we had to play on, right, digging back into Henry, exploring and researching on Henry. Who is Henry? What did he do? We found out his favourite number was 13, or we thought his favourite number was 13. You just hear there's a consistent number of 13 attached to his stories, and we thought, okay, Henry's favourite number is 13. So we're going to do that. We're going to play on that number. So we have now 13 dishes on our menu. Why? Because it's Henry's favourite number. We don't have 10 ounces, we don't have schooners, we don't have pints. We have a 13-ounce drink, a 13-ounce glass, I should say. So again, we're different. We just like being different, you know that. So then the menu creation, we basically just said to Christy, off you go. We completely and utterly trust her, and we really wanted, I shouldn't say off we go. The idea was, okay, Tasmanian first. Let's do, dishes from all across the state. instead of going the paddock to plate, what we then were trying to do was the story to plate. Now I think now obviously the paddock to plate is a story to plate with all the TV shows, but rather than getting, let's get truffles. Well, no, let's go out to John Bailey, one of the best truffle growers around, and bring him in. Let's have dinner with him. Let's have some wine with him, and let him show his produce to us and what he thinks it'd go well with. I don't like truffles, but a lot of people do, and that's what we try and do with our scallops. So John Hammond, from Flinders Island, just fortunate he's a very good friend of mine. We get John in. Right, John, let's look at the scallops. What do you recommend? Or when is a good time to serve them? So we know what's in season and what's not in season. I mean, they teach you that at primary school probably, but it's then finding out what story we can bring with this food. And so that then goes through to when we've developed the new menu, which obviously changes every month. We bring all the staff into the kitchen. We all stand around the bench. So the chefs serve us that new menu. We all then sit around, try it, talk about it, taste it. Some like this, some don't like that. And then we work out what we think's the best dish of that month, and then we call that our Henry's signature dish. So that's the dish selected by obviously all the staff. So it's really, I think it's a great way to train our staff. It's a great way to get our staff into the kitchen and actually see what the guys do. I feel really proud. It's great to see. It's great to see the staff, or the team, I should say, really enjoy what we're doing. We educate a lot of them. Well, we do. We have to educate them and train them, and it's great to see them come on board and say, okay, well, I actually can see what you're doing. With the menu, it's like, I love it. So it's the first Wednesday of every month. I know, right, I'm in the kitchen all day at Henry's. I'm giving the chef a hard time. I'm seeing the chef under pressure preparing 13 new dishes, which obviously they've done and we've spoken about weeks in advance. Obviously we've done 320 dishes now in less than 2 years. So not many restaurants can say that they've pumped out that many new dishes. So that's a challenge, and the kitchen staff here are fantastic. They do such a great job. But from me, what do I find the most rewarding out of being able to do that? I suppose is just to sit back and just watch it all unfold. As you know, I'm not a big man to be in the limelight. Dio probably say I'm not, but I'm very much getting in behind the scenes, being here during the day, setting it all up, making sure our staff have everything that they need, making sure that they've got their knowledge. If they don't, we're only a phone call away. We can basically support them all the way through till we get to service. And then I'm a family man. As you know, I have 3 kids and I just put a dog into the family, so my wife hates me, but literally. So that's the rewarding thing then, is when I get feedback from the customers telling me how great the staff are. That's the most important thing for me. I know that they're generally going to like the atmosphere and the ambience, because that's the way we've designed it and set it up. Some people think it's too dark, some people think it's too light. That's cool. Some people got blonde hair, some people got brunette hair. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You come in here for the experience. So the food is part of that experience, the staff is part of that experience, the environment is part of that experience. Here we've got heating, lighting, music, smell. If you can get those 4 things right, hot food, cold drinks, clean toilet, you're halfway there. You're actually nearly all the way there. That's our philosophy up at the pub, and that's it. There is the other one, no dickheads. Probably can't say that in here, but no dickheads in front of the bar or behind the bar. And that's how you run a good, clean pub. Know what you're doing. Have direction of what you are, a clear distinction, and stick to it. Don't try and sway, don't try and chase the crowd, and don't try and be the it bar or the it place or the hip place or I guess the hipsters now. Look, I'm showing my age, but don't try and chase that. Just say, right, this is what we're doing. We're going to do it to the best of our ability. We think we do it bloody well. Come and have an experience with us. An experience at Henry's. We always say, come and have the Henry's experience. Come and walk into a beautiful warm bar. with probably the best stock spirits, definitely in Launceston. Meet our staff, be greeted instead of waiting to walk up to the bar and say hi. If you're not greeted within 3 steps of our front door, you're not getting the Henry's experience. And this is what we train with our guys. So right, let's have some fun. Being here with our staff, it's almost like role playing. Or a really good friend of ours, he always used to say it's acting. He used to act behind the bar and he loved it. And I suppose if you don't have that personality and that confidence to walk up to someone and say, hi, how's your day? How can I help you? Then you're not right for front of house hospitality. It doesn't mean that you won't be right in the back of house, or you might be right in the administration side. So there's plenty of different jobs within the actual industry, as you know. Opening week. Well, as you know, we had 5 openings in 5 nights. We're excited. We're very excited. Obviously we're excited to have the building, excited to build up and redevelop it and open the doors. There's 2 sides to the doorman. We obviously had a beautifully well-dressed doorman in his tux, so we're kind of rewinding it back maybe, I don't know, 80, 90 years. The first idea was, right, we want to keep the riffraff or the previous clientele of the business, the old clientele of the old business out, where the business that we bought was seen to be the bar of last resort. It was open till 7 a.m. The floorboards were just not what you wanted to walk on, definitely not what you wanted to smell on, and definitely not what you wanted your glass to go anywhere near. It was just that dark, dingy, which a lot of people loved. I love that in my 20s, don't get me wrong, but definitely not when I'm nearly in my 40s wanting to open a restaurant. So, yep, we put the doorman there. We put a very strict dress code there. It was fantastic for the new people coming in because they knew what they wanted. And look, we copped a lot of criticism for the people that just wanted to come in and have a look, or we wouldn't let in because they were wearing a beanie and wouldn't take it off, or they had dirty work boots, or they were dressed in hoodies and in sneakers. And we said, no, we've got something pretty special inside. We want people when they first walk in to have that experience. Look, they're dressed up, they're feeling good to go out themselves, and then they're coming here. Yep, that concept, of course, has been done in Launceston before. I mean, you go to Stillwater, you're going to dress up. You can wear a t-shirt there, I'm sure. James and Bianca aren't going to mind, but you're going to Stillwater for that nice experience. You're not going to Stillwater in work boots and flannies or high-vis. A bit like Jeremy's. You're not going to go there unless you're dressed to go there, and you're going to have a nice experience. So that was why we did it initially, and we had a lot of fun with it, but it backfired with us. It did backfire. We stuck with it probably for the first 6 months, just so we could establish ourselves as, right, we're not the old Northern Club. We're not the nightclub, I'll say the dodgy nightclub. We are Henry's, we are different. But that also, and I can now recognise it, then I couldn't, that actually prevented a lot of people coming in too, because they thought, whoa, what's this about? I have to dress up in Launceston, I have a doorman who's wearing a suit, I have to be on the list, or I have to have booked to get in. I don't like that. That's completely and utterly different. We don't do that in Launceston. Well, I always look to how can we change it, how can we keep doing things better. As you know, I like change. I like building things, I like painting things, I like moving things around. But an example of that would be in our back lounge, which we've got 6 beautiful leather Chesterfields, an open fire. It's a very, very moody, dark, atmosphere room. The mood is just dark and lush, cosy. A lot of people, it's just a very polarising room. People love it or they hate it. There's really not a lot of wiggle room. So we've kind of changed that room now, where we still have the Chesterfields in there, but it's become a diverse, more function space. So I think you've seen before, we'll do our large private dining, our wine dinners in there, And the other thing I've done is I've put more lighting in. I mean, a simple thing like that, Nick, just put more lighting in. We've done that and people are reacting well to it. The lighting here has been an issue. I like dark lighting. I think lighting really sets the tone of the atmosphere of the room. That and the heating and the music. I mean, I've said them before, but we've had some feedback about, look, the restaurant's too dark. We just can't see the menu. Okay, that's a fair point. If you can't see the menu, you can't order it. If you can't order it, I'm in a bit of trouble. So what do? Something simple, just put more lights in. Listening to your customers, I think, is the key, but also having one eye on the road of where you're going. Like, as you said before, if you listen to, like, everyone's got an opinion. In this industry, you've got to have thick skin. You've got to be prepared to get real-time feedback, whether it's good, bad, ugly, indifferent, because you're going to get it about the seats, the tables, the plates, the staff, the toilets, how hard it was to book. Your Facebook page is not good. Your website doesn't say this. Like, you're getting attacked. And I think in other businesses, there's just not that array of attackment. It is, you're right, it's hard. Look, when it all goes well, it's fantastic, it's great, because it doesn't feel like work. I mean, that's like any job. When this is all going well, I don't have a job. I just get to walk in here, g'day guys, everything's right, we've got our training meeting, we've got our new menu on Wednesday. I'll go to the bank, I'll have a beer, I'll see you later. Awesome. When it's not going right, you are fixing toilets. You're in here cleaning because the cleaner called in sick. You're in here trying to work out how to do the food order because, chef's got conjunctivitis. I mean, you've got all these mad things going on. Then you've got customers, which can be the best thing, or sometimes you just wish, I shut the door tonight. Just kept all those customers away, sat here with my staff on the couch and had a beer. But obviously you can't do that. But yeah, look, it is. I mean, I've worked in a lot of different industries, and by far this is the most challenging. It looks like you're not working. All my mates go, oh, you just own a pub, how good's that? Or you just got a restaurant, you just walk in there and you drink and eat and walk out. Yep. You want to do a stock take, you want to do rosters for 32 people, you want to work out your public holidays, you want to work out events, you want to do wine dinners, you want to do whiskey tastings, you've got to be a sommelier, so you've got to do a sommelier's course. You want to do all those things, and then you've got to run a business on the other side, which, yeah, running a restaurant and a pub, or I suppose any hospitality business, inside the business, working it 7 days a week, 24/7, and then trying to run the business on the outside is impossible. I think. I mean, we're small businesses that don't have the resources or really the turnover to be able to put an administration team on top and management underneath. Why do it? Why do it? Because you can. That's I get asked that, like, why do you do it? Because I can. I think I'm good at it and I enjoy it. That's why I do it. When I stop enjoying it, when I stop thinking I can do it, I'll stop doing it. A lot of people call me, that's very strong-minded, and I think, well, if you're not strong-minded, if you don't know where you're going and what you want to try and achieve, then get out. So if you're a corner pub, be a corner pub. Don't be some gastro, French bistro style restaurant in a pub. I tried that. It doesn't work. Then went Asian cuisine style. That didn't work either, because my customer go, Nick, it's just a fucking pub, mate. Oh no, but I want it to be, no. So yeah, 8 years later, I've got arguably one of the top corner pubs in town, because guess what? We're just a pub. We've got accommodation up top, we've got a bar down below, a restaurant and a back deck. And we just do your good old, palmies, beers, steaks, burgers, chips, calamari, you name it, pork on the fork. But then do it well. And that's the key. Find out what you're going to do and do it well. And I suppose that's the thing that I'm really excited about where we're headed here at Henry's, because we've made a big statement about what we are. We've got the right people. We're all trained up ready. Now it's just a matter of letting the public know, hey, we're here and we're here to stay, come and try us. And nearly every customer that comes in, I know a lot of people say this, but every customer that comes in and enjoys a Henry's experience, he's coming back for one. Yeah, so that's because, you know, I look up to the Geronimos, Stillwater, the Black Cow guys, you know, and then you've got the traditional stalwarts of Navarros and Terry Fiddlers. I don't think I've left anyone out there, and then you've got Miwa, which is on the outside, which is just an institution. So I'd like to see where I'm headed with Henry's is to get into that mould of, hey, Henry's is here to stay, it's a Launceston icon, and we're all going to enjoy it. I mean, yeah, you're talking about feedback, Nick. The feedback's great because I really enjoy getting it. If it's negative, it's great. Like, it's equally the same because you don't know what you don't know, and feedback is someone telling you something that, hey, you might not have known that. So, you know, you fix it. I mean, as I said, with Sporties, I've had that now 8 years. I know when we first bought it in 2010, that's 8 years. You know, the locals, so the owner let the locals have their dogs in the bar, corner bar, and literally pissing on the corner of the bar. And the walls were dark, and can't say that about this place, but you know, there was no back deck, there was no atmosphere, and I had really very little idea about running a hospitality business back then. But my passion, I suppose, then, as is now, is devil in the detail, design, the layout, creating that atmosphere. So that's what we've done there, and you know, 8 years later, we're back to just a pub from all the things we've been. Again, what is it? Just listening through feedback and being able to cut through the bullshit of feedback too. You know, because it's amazing how, I think we said before, everyone's an expert, everyone's got an opinion, and they all want to tell you. And they also want to tell you how to run your business. Oh, you should be doing this and that and that. And it's like, mate, what do you do? Oh, I work for an accountant. Cool. Do you want me to tell you how to run your accounting business? Or how good you were at adding up my fucking numbers? Or, no. Or I didn't like your shoes you wore today when you saw me? Can I slam you on Facebook? Like, no, I'm just a boring old accountant. That's okay. I shouldn't say that. That's okay. Not all accountants are boring. Mine especially isn't. He's just fucking expensive. And he doesn't eat in my restaurant. So you've got all, anyway, you can have a lot of fun with a lot of people. And you can piss a lot of people off. Also, if you want to do that too, which, you know, sometimes you do. Having fun with it. I mean, that's where, if our staff don't enjoy being busy, then they're in the wrong industry. Because if we're busy at the front, I'll say we, but if the guys are busy at the front, guess what? The guys at the back are just as busy. If they're getting slammed by your dockers, then they've also got to understand that you're getting slammed by customers. And that's a good thing. It's just how we gel it together and create that team, which, you know, I hear a lot of hospitality businesses, they find that that's their number one struggle, is to get the front of house and back of house working. And that's where we really try and create that team. So we get majority of our front of house staff all to go and do dishes throughout the night. We try and pull the chefs out to pour beers, but they just want to drink them, not pour them. But we really try and create that team environment. So, you know, there's no problem we can't fix. Of course, there's going to be problems that they can't fix, but they become my problems, and I'll solve any problem. And if there's a problem I can't fix, well, then it's not their problem. So that's how we like to look at it. I was the guy that sat in the office in front of the computer. Did that for 3 months. Wasn't me. People say I didn't do it long enough. Maybe it was 4 months, but I'm sorry. But it's, I know I've said it before, it's the challenge. It's everything that gets thrown at you every day. I often say to Christy, I said, all you do is spend time on the phone and walking around and swearing a bit. I said, yep, that was my day. I'm only talking to my wife. So it's ultimate, it's not ultimate. I love problem solving, personally. Comes from my, I suppose, engineering background. I love designing, I love creating. And I think in the hospitality industry, and especially where I've got it here, I can do all of those things at once and have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it and you're not enjoying it, it sucks. And don't worry, we have those days. But If you're having more days of the enjoyment and fun bit and making money and less days of the it suck bit and going broke, then I think you're in a good winner.